guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Football Heritage Podcast. Today, obviously the scenery is a little bit different. Got something new for you guys. We're not in the studio, we're not on Zoom. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about the transfer window. Obviously, a lot of stuff happened in the summer transfer window, so let's get straight into it. Without further ado.
Got it now, don't it?
Yeah, we've got CR7. CR7, man. CR7 back at United.
Emphasis on the 7.
Exactly, because there was a lot of debate on whether he would get the number 7 shirt. But obviously, we managed to get special dispensation or whatever it's called. But we managed to get CR7 in the 7 shirt.
Let's get straight to the point. Is he winning you the league?
This is something I don't like. Rival fans are putting pressure on us, but it's necessary pressure, to be honest, because if Ole can't use the excuses that he's been using in the past, he's been backed in this window. Despite the fact that we didn't get a CDM, he has been backed. So I feel like if it's go big or go home. If Ole doesn't win a trophy this season, then he's definitely out the door next season.
Sure.
Yeah, if he has to win something this season, 100%.
It's been 3 years now, isn't it?
Yeah, he has to win something this year.
Gave him a new contract though.
But he can get sacked. It's still sackable, man.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, what do you, man, think about the Ronaldo transfer? Because when it happened for me, I just finished work. So I was hyped. I checked my phone because of what happened is obviously we all thought he was going to Manchester City. Mm-hmm. So I thought he was going to City. I was distraught. I was like, no way on earth. I do not want my club legend going to Manchester City. I would
claim Messi was the goal after that. Innit?
I didn't say that. I didn't say no one. Well, if I said it, I was lying. I was capping. I was trolling. Mm-hmm. But yeah, obviously we didn't want him going to Manchester City. So I was distraught. My childhood idol. Well, I don't have no idols, but my childhood hero, you could say. I looked up to him when I was a kid, innit? All the memories I had of him at Old Trafford, 2008, 2009, 2007 even. So, for him to go to our rivals, that would have broke my heart, man. I would have been so angry. I was just praying to God it wouldn't happen. And then I go to my shift, I finish my shift, I see that we've signed him. I'm jumping around in the lounge room like a little kid. Like, I felt like I was 7 years old again when we signed Ronaldo, man. Like, I was so happy, man. But yeah, what do you rival fans think about the Ronaldo transfer? Because it's interesting to see an outside perspective.
So from a footballing perspective, he's going to bag goals straight away. Like, Bruno is going to go supernova. Jadon Sancho will go supernova. Like, he's going to be in the box. Obviously, I think Martial will go down the pecking order. Quinn would probably put out to the wing, but Ronaldo's going to be in the penalty box, scoring headers and everything like that. And you've got Cavani's on. Like, the options up front are insane now. And I don't know, like, maybe like one thing I'd say is like, do you think it's a smart transfer? Like, I know obviously like it's so romantic and everything, but 36, 2-year contract, is it the wisest thing to do?
If I'm being honest, at the beginning of the season, we knew that he wasn't happy at Juventus. I said to my brother, I don't really think we need him. I'd rather get a CDM than Ronaldo. But I feel like the reason why we made the transfer is the prospect of him going to Man City. I feel like Man City going in for Ronaldo pushed us to get Ronaldo because we were not. I don't think we were interested in Ronaldo. There's been stories that allegedly we made contact before City. There was talks about him coming to United before, but if Man City didn't go for him, I don't think we were going for Ronaldo. But it's Ronaldo. Like, the guy was he top goal scorer in Serie A last season?
Yeah, he was.
He was top goal scorer in Serie A last season. He can still easily bang 20 plus goals, in my opinion. Despite his age, Ronaldo's an anomaly in football. Like, the way he looks after his body, the way he takes care of himself, he spends a lot of money on it. Exactly. So I'm not worried about his age, per se. And I'm not worried about him adapting to the Premier League because we've seen him tear up the Premier League before. Obviously, he was a lot younger and he was a lot better. He was a better player back then. Well. Obviously, he's refined his game to be more of a poacher and a goal scorer. So I feel like it's a signing that can propel us to the top. The only issue that I have is the CDM thing. But obviously, like you said in the last episode, no team is perfect. We can't have a perfect team. And Ole has a pretty much close to perfect team apart from the CDM position. So he can't be complaining and moaning saying that the board didn't back him when he said that we're satisfied with this window. Even before Ronaldo came, he said he was satisfied with the window. He said anyone after this is a bonus. So if we don't do well this season, we have to look at Ole and look at his job and his role. So yeah, I think it's a good signing. I do think it's genuinely. I do think it's a good signing, not just because nostalgia. It's actually.
No, I hear that. When I look at Ronaldo, I might not rate him, but the guy's a goal scorer, bro.
Exactly.
He's a goal scorer, innit? But one thing that people are gonna realize, and I've been saying this for years, is that the guy's a limited footballer now, and he has been for a number of years.
Like, you're not going to get ball progression from him. You're not going to get those sorts of things out of him. It's gonna be down to everyone else.
And shout out Ori. Ori was saying United probably need a more complete striker.
Exactly.
Like especially with a player like a Bruno who's playing just in behind you, where he kind of feeds off you coming in behind so you can run into that space. We saw him against Leeds.
Yeah.
Them late man runs were killing teams. And
almost as a second striker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that. There's going to be a mentality shift from all the players, because Ronaldo is going to be that guy and you're going to have to feed him in it. So the mentality of the players are going to change, because we saw with Jota. You don't mess with Ronaldo, innit?
But I think it's a good point that he's going to be the focal point of the team, because everyone's going to be focusing on CR7. You've got Sancho,
Bruno.
you got Bruno, you've got Pogba, you've got Rashford, you've got Greenwood. You've got quality players surrounding
him. That's what I've been moaning about. You haven't had options for the past. You've got all of a sudden.
You've got quality surrounding CR7. You've got gold surrounding CR7. I think our team is better than the Juventus team that he had last season. Definitely.
Yeah.
So even he's probably gonna bag more goals than he did last season. So I feel like people are too worried about Ronaldo. Like, defenders will be worrying about Ronaldo. You have Mason Greenwood to worry about. You have Sancho to worry about. You have Rashford to worry about. Bruno to worry about. Pogba to worry about.
But what you're
We've
saying,
got options in abundance going forward. No, going forward, we should not struggle to score goals.
you have the best attacking out.
Starting attack,
in the league.
So.
No, but I'm saying you're saying teams aren't gonna worry. Teams, there's more players to worry about than just Ronaldo. But this ain't Messi or this ain't Ronaldo of 2008, where you're like, I'm scared this guy's gonna pick the ball
or
up.
Even 2015 or anything.
2015 he was starting to, but like. It's not like a Messi where you're like, I don't want this guy to get the ball. Anyway, Ronaldo is just a thing of, I'd rather cut off the supply to Ronaldo. That's the main thing. Because you know if he gets the supply, he's a danger, innit? But Ronaldo's going to bag. He's a freak of nature, innit?
People know this. But from a business standpoint as well, obviously, we're a football heritage podcast, but logically we think about the business of it.
Smart is 2 years. I don't know if that's too bad. Like,
it's a very, very smart deal.
It's a very smart deal.
Shares went up by like 8% or something like that when we announced we signed them. Logically, everything made sense. Everything made sense in terms of that sign. The only thing maybe
wages have been halved as well, haven't they? From like 900k a week to like 500 or something.
Yeah. It's just overall great signing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It's a dream signing. Like, as a youth, I never thought I would ever see the day where Ronaldo would come back to Manchester United, but it's happened, man. Like the morning afterwards, I had to pinch myself. My little siblings don't know about CR7, but I made sure to let them know about CR7.
They won't know who CR7 is.
Bro, every single time I walked into that room, I said to my brother, United side Ronaldo. United side Cristiano Ronaldo. He's like, bro, stop annoying me. Like, why? All they care about is Fortnite and Minecraft. But for me, my childhood was CR7, you get me? So
in 2021, Harry Kane's a better player than CR7. So I don't think.
Probably, yeah. Honestly, yeah, probably. But it's CR7 at the end of the day, man. But we're gonna move on. In fact, let's look at more United players, isn't it?
Okay, so
we didn't stop. We stopped at CR7, but we had a beautiful window before that.
I think and I'm jealous. They have had you've had a very good summer. Like Sancho for what, 73 million, was it?
Yeah.
So you got him 20 mil less than what you've been pursuing him for. And I know you should have got the deal done like a couple of years ago or whatever, last year, 18 months, but it's a good signing at that price. I know he's injured and stuff, but mate, the supply line is going to be insane, and it's just going to be interesting to see the chemistry between is Bruno's numbers going to drop now, be more spread out, or is it going to be, is the style of play going to change as well? Because we criticise Ollie for being, maybe too laid back in some games, and open and counter-attacking, etc.
Tactically inept, some people
you
would say.
Yeah, you can say that. But
I don't think so, but some people would say that.
And then Varane, obviously, if Varane allows you tactically to play one of McTominay and Fred, obviously in the smaller games, I thought that's going to happen anyway. Like that's the best thing in disguise. And Varane and Maguire could strike out one of the best partnerships in the Premier League this season.
The one CDM can't be Fred.
Do you think it should be McTominay?
I saw the highlights
double pivot should stay, to be honest.
Even against smaller teams where
I'm sorry, it can't be Fred. Fred against was it Southampton?
Yeah, I know.
But as an interceptor on the ball, isn't Fred better than McTominay?
But he's just terrible. No, he gets bullied. Like
no.
He's good intercepting.
Intercepting, but
yeah,
you've got Pogba next to, and I mean Pogba staying in central midfield.
Pogba's not a pivot player. He's not.
Remember,
Pogba's not a dictator player.
No.
So I wouldn't put Pogba in a double pivot. I leave players like Pogba for me. I play them higher up the pitch because that's where they're meant to affect the game. Their brain is wired to create.
Man United aren't going to play 2 like 8s, are they? They're not going to do that. So that's the only place he's going to play. He's not going to play on the wing.
I don't know what's people's problem with 2 double pivots. Playing 2 double pivots doesn't mean it's defensive.
No, not at all.
I don't know.
But it's the limitations of the 2 double pivots they have.
But the way we're going to play, you have a 6, an 8, and a 10. Pogba can't play the 8 role if his 6 can't hack it defensively. That's the issue.
But my point is, does Varane allow you to do that? And Wan-Bissaka staying back as well?
It's not. I think it's not about Varane and Maguire allowing us to do that because of Fred is there in the 6 role, and Fred is just whack. Nah, he is trash.
I don't think he's that trash. I think he's a good squad player.
Yeah, he's a good squad player, but he's not a good starting CDM, is he?
He's not a DM though. He's a Kante.
But he doesn't do that role very well. I think just to look at the Raphael Varane transfer, that is a big boy transfer right there. That was a serious transfer right there.
This guy's got pedigree.
And even on his debut, it was quality on his debut. Like Varane, that signing.
I will say one thing though. I do feel like the last couple of years, maybe I've been microscoping him. He's been making a few mistakes, and he hasn't looked the same Varane. That
Bro, people just looked at that Man City game and used that to just.
But even in the league, I did feel like last season, you know when Courtois was just saving Madrid countless times, like
he was still quite good.
Yeah, he was still good, but I don't know.
Obviously, that was a season where last season was where Militao kind of stepped up and said, "I'm the new guy," innit? But Varane was still decent.
Decent is
with Sancho. My only thing with him, I've always said he's a left winger.
You're like already,
but also, I think it's going to take him time to adjust to the league. So I wouldn't be surprised.
What would you be happy with in terms of a return from Sancho this season? Like, how many goals and assists?
I don't think he's going to bag on much, if I'm being honest.
10 and 10 would be really
10 and 10.
Right.
I think 10 and 10 would be a good season for him. I think I said it. I'm not sure if I said it while we were recording, but there was one podcast where I said, if he comes to United, he's not going to have an amazing first season. I said that I don't think he's going to be good in his first season. But obviously, the 10-10 would look a lot easier when you have CR7 up front. Than, no offense to Cavani. Cavani's a very, very, very good player. He's not CR7 though, is he?
Yeah. CR7 will get you more goals.
Exactly.
I'm saying maybe, because I think Cavani got like 17, 18. I think CR7 might
he
get
exploded
10.
in the second half of the season, didn't he?
I think CR7 will probably get you 10 more than Cavani. But yeah, United, one of the favourites now. No question.
Yeah, man.
What are you saying about moving on? What are you saying about Saul to Chelsea? Good signing.
I think that's a smart signing. Very smart signing. I don't know why Man United didn't go for him.
United don't need him.
I think he would have been a smart signing. But Chelsea don't need him. But Chelsea is smart and they're buying these players.
Nobody needed him.
Chelsea will need it for squad depth because they only had Kante, Kovacic, and Jorginho. Those are 3.
That's squad depth right there.
They already have.
Bro, do you know how many competitions
you guys should be doing?
Do you know how many
to become that as well?
Do you know how many competitions Chelsea are in this season? They're still going to the Club World Cup. You know that.
Yeah.
And Kante is injury prone nowadays. So really, you definitely need.
What's your plan? Is it still Kante and Jorginho for you?
Yeah, of course. Saul was just there for, to make up numbers.
And also, Saul knows how to play the back 5 system. He's played wing back before. Yeah. He can play destroyer, and the good thing about him.
But he don't want to play there though.
He wants to be a bit more progressive, isn't it?
Yeah. So
a good signing.
Yeah, I think it's a good signing. Obviously, I haven't really been paying attention to him the last couple of years.
I mean, he hasn't played. He hasn't played.
And when he does play, sometimes plays.
I know Atletico, they want to sell him because he's on. You know, 2 years ago, everyone was talking about him like big boy. I remember Man United like proper being linked with him, and
They
gave him a fat contract.
I don't think he's that
and
good.
now they want to sell him.
Honestly, I don't think he's that good. I'll be honest. When people were like, "Oh, you guys should have gone in for Saul instead of Chelsea," when I saw Chelsea sign Saul, it probably proved me wrong. But I don't think he'll have enough game time to prove me wrong, to be honest. But when I saw,
he will.
He probably will.
when I saw that the man signed him, I didn't really care too tough. I'll be honest. Like,
Nah, it's just for squad depth. It's not really anything.
Talk about the big one though, Lukaku.
We'll get onto that one when we do the teams, because we'll do another podcast for looking at all the teams. So we'll look at Lukaku.
But we have to talk about Lukaku though.
What you man saying?
Just a little bit.
What you man saying about Lukaku?
Without giving too much away for the next episode, I feel like he's gonna be the difference for you guys.
Between the first and the second, no first.
Without Lukaku, I feel like you don't make it as strong as a challenge, because if Werner is just, he wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
Lukaku he's a big boy.
That's what you call an upgrade.
He's a big boy, Lukaku.
Upgrade sign, definitely. I think that's gonna push us to a sustained title challenge, because I think with Werner, Havertz, Mount, they don't guarantee you the output that you need in order to win titles in it. Yeah.
Lukaku will also simultaneously improve their output as well.
Yeah.
So especially Werner, I'm interested to see that.
Because you see Lukaku will drop deep.
Exactly.
You
can Toro, Martinez.
So
hybrid.
You can have it.
This is like a transfer window mukbang type thing. You know them ones on YouTube where they do the mukbang. This is what it is.
So, I think Lukaku certified signing, in my opinion. And that's the thing. That's the thing. You know when your team
good age as well.
You know when your team is set. Yeah. And you just need little
that
pieces.
One piece must be nice.
That's how it is for Chelsea and Lukaku. So I have no worries. I see him getting over 20 goals in all comps.
Can I ask you a question actually? Maybe for next episode, but Jules Koundé and then Kurt Zouma being sold. Are you annoyed about that, or are you a bit like the fact that it didn't happen? Even though it looked like that was what was the reason why you weren't signing Koundé, because Zouma needs to be sold.
You see, with me, when you're talking about how I feel about Chelsea, sometimes I'm the wrong person, because literally sometimes I don't even give a toss about Chelsea. So for me, when I'm looking at it just from the squad dynamics perspective, I think this is what people wanted, because people wanted Chalobah to be given a chance in it. So it's one of them ones where Chelsea have enough depth in the centre back position anyway, because Reece James has played centre back as well. Now you have Chalobah coming in as well, so Zuma's technically been replaced if you look at it with Chalobah, so I don't think it's going to be anything major to worry about. Centre back wasn't a position of priority at all, so I don't think there's anything to really be worried about and to look at. So
Koundé would have been nice.
Yeah, but I imagine that Chelsea will try and get him again
next year,
maybe in January.
But I think he does want to leave now.
I don't know why he wants to leave that badly. Sevilla in a very good position. I can see them title challenging for La Liga, so I don't understand the fuss, but money talks in it, so it's one of them ones.
Obviously, we'll go into this next week, but your outgoings as well. Very smart.
Shout out my boy Tammy. I've been saying since there's a quality striker.
Hat-trick of assists, isn't it? And then he got a couple goals as well.
Bro, did you see the pre-assist that he did? Bro, I've been saying
he's going out under Mourinho, but then again, with Mourinho, it's always the honeymoon period, and then it goes left after.
It's all about consistency anyway, so I want him to do it more consistently, but it's positive signs for him, definitely. And obviously, for you guys, let's move on to West Ham now with Zouma.
Yeah, but, it's a very good signing. I think like some people saying it's a slight overpayment. How
much?
It's going to be 29 million. So
that's not
much. That's fine.
For a centre back in the
26 years old, proper Moyes, like hardcore centre back, tough tackling. Can be rash, but
he's not.
He's fine.
See,
he's fine.
Chelsea fans sometimes.
People say as well he's bad on the ball, but for West Ham, he doesn't need to be amazing on the ball.
Bro, he's not even that bad on the ball. He's actually improved in my opinion, as a defender. Since his ACL, he's actually improved as a defender and even as an overall player. Like
Under Sarri, he would have had to have been a good ball playing centre back.
He didn't play under Sarri.
He didn't?
No, because he was at loan at Everton. It was when Lampard came. That's when he played that. But it's like when he first came onto the scene, he was rash, and you could see that sometimes it was mistiming.
He came onto the scene at 19 with John Terry.
Yeah,
like that is a pretty big thing.
But in my opinion, as he's gotten older, he's actually improved like his defensive awareness and his reading of the game. The only issue was Lampard was being a bit weird, starting him for like 6 months and then dropping him. So in my opinion, he's a quality defender. In my opinion.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think him and Ogbonna will be the partnership.
Well, no, Craig Dawson.
Nah, mate, he's been a bit rash recently.
Wait, he played Ogbonna and Zuma for starting too.
Yeah, they'll be our starting too, I think. And Diop,
I think that's fair
Diop,
enough. What about Diop? Yeah.
He'll be a backup. Europa League.
He fell off, innit? Diop fell off.
Yeah, his confidence.
I remember we were in for him.
His confidence is shattered. I remember he's in with Man United and Tottenham, and he had his first good season.
Because before we signed Maguire, we wanted Diop.
He's still young though. He's like 24. So Krau came in on loan. Finally, a backup to Souček and Rice.
Brother, who is that brother? Let's be honest.
Another Czech guy.
Exactly. Someone said on Twitter, your scouting system
is just
and the transfer policy
Souček.
It's just asking Souček about his brethren and then bringing them through.
And then
what type of player is he?
Defensive midfielder, destroyer. That's all he is.
Pure destroyer.
Yeah. And then Vlasic, obviously, was at Everton a couple of years ago. Came back. Croatian. Did well in the Euros, but yeah, we'll see. No striker, but he's going to
You got
provide.
Antonio,
He's
man.
going to provide cover for a lot of positions up front, around those areas. So
You man like Yarmolenko up front, innit?
Yama, Bowen will play up front, and then we
Maybe
got Areola as well.
But you're talking about backups to Antonio, right?
Yeah, Yama and Bowen. But I think Areola will be there. Areola's going to be our starting goalkeeper next season.
Oh, you signed him permanently?
Yeah, I think it's an obligation we have to sign, or something we have to sign him after 1 year.
What's happening to Fabianski?
He's 36. He's probably going to have to go now. And all our goalkeepers are really old. They're all like 32 and stuff.
The other one, old guy.
David Martin and Darren Randolph, they're like 33, 34.
You still have Randolph?
Yeah. Right. No, he came back, he left and then came back. Kept Rice, that's the signing in itself, I think. Just keeping Rice. So
West Ham fans love Rice, man.
It's kind of next year.
I'm hearing.
Going to you guys.
I'm hearing. Apparently, they're trying to get him to sign a new contract right now, and stick £120 million buyout clause in his contract.
Bake off, man.
But his contract doesn't even run out until 2024 anyway, so it's not as if like we're in a bad position.
He's not that guy to be going for 120 million, man.
But you never know with how football's
going. If
going.
Maguire went for 80 million, then like.
Then Rice should go for 80 million.
Yeah,
in fact, that's even a stretch.
Yeah, he'll definitely.
I think he's a £60 million player at best.
But with the English track, he's not going to leave for anything less than like 80. I don't think.
I don't think it's all that, personally. I was happy that we didn't sign him.
You still want Ndidi, don't you?
Yeah, I really, really want more Fred than Ndidi. I feel like if we sign Ndidi...
Ndidi is a pure destroyer.
If we sign Ndidi, Champions League...
I think Rice is probably a better fit for you guys than Ndidi.
Why?
He's more complete than Ndidi.
I think Ndidi is better for Liverpool.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I think it would be better for Liverpool.
I still think Ndidi is a good sign for Man United because they have Pogba and Bruno as their ball playing midfield.
Who do you think is better defensively?
Oh, Ndidi. Yeah.
There you go. We need good defensive coverage.
Yeah, and you need someone that's good on the ball as well. And that's the issue. United don't have any players apart from McTominay that's actually technically secure on the ball.
Pogba isn't secure on the ball.
Pogba isn't consistent on the ball, especially when it comes to holding it on. I've seen it so many times in a game where Pogba gets dispossessed.
You're actually right. I can't argue with you on that one. Bruno loses the ball a lot as well.
It's only McTominay, even though
McTominay is very safe on the ball, which I like. In fact, it's not. I wouldn't even say he's safe on the ball. He reminds me of like Carrick and Fletcher in the term.
Yeah, maybe Fletcher. Carrick was actually technical. He could play those progressive passes. Like McTominay.
He reminds me of Darren Fletcher, where he has the ball. You know, most likely he's not going to lose it.
Great engine as well.
Yeah.
So with how United are, just to segue back into it, is McTominay and someone else. That's the reality. Even though I don't think he's the greatest player, but for what he offers, It's him and someone else. So him and Pogba don't work. It's probably him and Matic really that works on paper.
I feel like
Except
Matic,
if you want to do Van der
Matic
Beek.
is our best CDM on paper, but he's just old. He doesn't have the legs.
No legs.
No intensity. So
That's the issue with Matic. So next, we're gonna go into a team that didn't really do that much in the window. I think we should look at Liverpool quickly.
oh, Konate.
They only had Konate and.
But their focus was just contract renewals, wasn't it? Just keeping everyone fine council.
I think people disrespect Liverpool a bit too much. We'll get into it a bit more. What Liverpool needed apart from a centre back was probably a striker. They didn't need them.
And a right back.
They can just play more on them.
You saw that a lot of their fans were very frustrated with the lack of activity.
I think they're getting annoyed now.
No,
They are getting annoyed.
People like
and the other thing is,
new toys, man.
Like they were annoyed at Wijnaldum. They're worried about Henderson. Obviously, Henderson's now signed a deal, but they were getting worried that their squad's just going to get dismantled.
another thing is, like Sharif said, the contract renewals, they're treating them like signings.
Exactly.
That's an issue. You need to refresh the
And
squad
I've said
every
this
so
before,
often.
man. Obviously, Liverpool aren't that club that are going to be spending millions and millions. They're reliant on selling one of those big front three. That opportunity to sell Firmino, Mane and Salah over the past 2-3 years has gone now. Partly their own fault, but partly because of COVID. Like, no one's going to buy them now. So they've lost the opportunity to make that big money. So,
I would say it's a shame, but I don't like them, man.
Liverpool.
they're still going to challenge. I feel the top four is pretty much as we've said it. It's going to be those 4 teams. But
They've got the best defence in the league, probably. Do you think? I think so.
they probably concede the least amount. They still didn't concede that many goals last year. And they're only 5 points behind you, weren't they?
They got the best defence, one of the best midfields, and.
But again, if they get injuries, I'm concerned about them because they don't have the squad. They actually don't have the squad.
I think it's just attacking players. They do have the squad.
They don't. But then say if Trent and Robertson both got injured at the same time.
They do have a decent squad, actually.
They do.
They're not bad.
People just like to force it. It's because they don't. It's because you see Man City. People say Man City has a
But
great
look
squad
at you
because they
guys.
spend.
Look at you guys now.
It's because of the
You
money
guys
you
know that
spend.
you need the squad now to compete, and that's how you started to compete again.
The only thing I have where I agree is with the attacking players, where Minamino and Origi.
Their forward options are needed.
That's where I'm like, yo.
Midfield, they had options. Obviously, Wijnaldum's left,
But
so they have
midfield
less options.
Liverpool's midfield is different in the sense that it's just pragmatic. So they have the guys in there that do the jobs.
They got Harvey Elliott, who have
Harvey Elliott's a good acquisition.
Creativity, and then they got Curtis Jones, we haven't even seen that all this season. Thiago hasn't played that all this season, so they didn't really need to buy another midfielder.
Unless Robertson and Trent stop becoming these massive chance creation monsters.
I mean, a lot of people rate what's that guy's name? Tamikas anyway.
He's only played 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to put that on him, and that's down the clock, not rotating.
It's just I hate the right back thing, and in my opinion, it's just a striker. But then you have Jota.
Joe Gomez might come in now as well.
So Liverpool have a lot of ways in which they can cover themselves. Just their attack, in my opinion, that's the only real downside. They also have Naby Keita in midfield. They got a lot of midfielders.
Midfield's fine. Yeah. Midfield is fine.
That's what I'm saying. People like to make it seem
just
like
I personally think the fullbacks need cover or different options.
I think they're alright.
But again, it's easy to say when all the other clubs are spending your money.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's easy to look at your owners and just be just mugging it straight off. There's a couple other teams we could cover. Villa did quite a lot of business. Tottenham have done some business.
Tottenham?
Yeah.
Not really, man.
Emerson Royale. That's a very good sign.
He's a quality right back. People will
He
realize.
was a Barcelona player for what, a month?
Barcelona have been doing that. That's what Roma
You know
did.
his deal was a madness because he was on a co-ownership with Real Betis.
Oh yeah.
So both clubs owned him.
That's like Italian saying.
Yeah, Italian clubs do it a lot. And he was at pre-season this year with Barca, and he's gone signed for Tottenham.
That's a good sign.
Some people compare him to Malcolm already, and I was like, okay.
Maicon.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, okay, let's see this guy play first.
He's a quality fullback though, from what I've seen from Betis. But Brian Gill, I haven't seen that guy play, but I've heard good stuff about him.
Yeah, he had a good breakup season last
and I've seen him on FM. His FM stats. Hey, them man at the
tricky little dribbler.
Yeah.
It'll be tough to see. I don't know how he's going to play because of Lucas has started the season strong. Bergwijn gets minutes, and then Son's going to play. But he'll get some. He's got Conference League to play in. He'll be alright. Villa spending that Jackie G money well. Buendia's got a goal and assist so far, I think. So he's living up so far. I think that's a very smart signing.
Yeah. We'll go into it a bit more
next week. But
let's move on to Europe, though.
Yeah.
What are you saying about Griezmann? I was saying in the GC, in my opinion, he's a big flop, massive flop.
Massive.
I mean, he struggled to make any sort of impact.
In my opinion, I think Barcelona flops don't get enough shine in terms of the way they flop. They spend so much money on players.
It's unreal.
And it's whack.
But
Coutinho, whack.
Griezmann. It's Bartomeu tax.
Exactly, man.
He tried to kill them, man.
But fam, like, if any other team in the world, in fact, let me just say that. In fact, yeah, if any other team in the world did what Barca's doing, they would be ripped to shreds. But for some reason, it's gone under the radar.
It's because Messi was keeping them still. Yeah, Messi. And a few other players, like, keeping them still relevant for a few years.
This is going to be the pious team. This is the pious team.
I think so.
See, I was reading something the other day. It's like Depay is a very, 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 very watered down version of Messi in terms of the fact that if you look at all the different characteristics of Depay, he does it in a very shit way compared to Messi. So
I hear that.
Ball progression, carrying, dribbling, shooting, chance creation, everything. He's gonna be like that.
He's gonna be that guy. Yeah. Because I was thinking when they signed him, obviously I was thinking
everyone's gonna be the little version of Messi. Man.
Not necessarily.
No, but he's saying like stylistically.
Like stylistically, you can do a bit of everything.
Because I was thinking when they signed him, I was like, no, Depay, from what I've seen from Lyon, he's looking like the guy in it. But I realised when I watched him in the Euros, he's quite a ball dominant player. He likes the ball to feet a lot.
Yeah.
And when you have Messi, I'm sorry, you have to. You have to get rid of that, innit? But now that Messi's gone and even Griezmann's gone now, this is completely his new team.
I think Griezmann should have stayed for at least half a season just to see. You're the main guy in the attack now, if we're being honest. Like
Depay's the main guy.
Depay's the
but he's going to be
Griezmann
that.
fell off, man. Let's not lie about it.
I don't think he fell off. I actually just think he
doesn't see Barcelona.
Let's be honest. At times he was playing like an out-and-out winger, like having to trap back. Like he was. I could see when I was watching him. I was like, "You're not doing what Griezmann was doing at Atletico."
Griezmann is not your explosive player that's going to get a ball and beat him.
I always say, players like Dybala, Griezmann, and now João Felix. Those sort of like hybrid attacking midfielders / like inside forwards. They're not quite strikers. They're not quite wingers. They're like in between.
Yeah. They work well off a big man. A guy that could allow them to get into the game. You get
exactly.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
They're not going to create huge amounts of chances. You don't see João Felix and Dybala creating so many chances and stuff. Like neither will you do with Griezmann. But maybe this year would have been his time to flourish without Messi.
No, I think just Simeone is a good fit for him because obviously
he was bagging 20 goals before he.
Atletico play a quick, direct style in it, so it's not all about little touches.
Suarez and Griezmann are going to be linking up now.
They're still not going to do anything. Suarez, even though he's scoring goals, he doesn't look the player at all. He's like Ronaldo, such a limited player nowadays, man. He's just a goal scorer. So because they don't have a strong outlet in their team.
Because they went a couple of years ago, before last summer.
Wait, did you say those two aren't going to do nothing?
No, like in terms of Champions League. Like,
I was about to say
they were struggling up front. They got rid of Diego Costa, Morata. Like they were struggling. Now all of a sudden they have like Cunha, Correa. Like
I was thinking they've overloaded with attacking players.
I looked at their signings. Like they've actually put in loads of new players.
But they don't. I mean, João Felix is meant to be the guy in it, but they don't have the guy. I mean, Carrasco is a very good player in it, but
Carrasco's not the guy, is he? Yeah. He's going to be playing wing back or something. Same with Lamar. Like with Simeone, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's.
We're not going to see him start scoring loads of goals all of a sudden, are we?
Well, let's look at them.
Camavinga, very good.
Oh yeah, they brought Camavinga.
30 million.
I wanted them at United.
I haven't seen enough of them.
I really wanted them at United, but obviously we couldn't make that deal happen.
It's a shame, man.
He's not even like a DM, is he? He's like
he's transitioned from a DM.
Yeah, he's a transitional player.
I don't even.
He's good.
I'll see him a lot this season because I watch Real Madrid. But
give Casemiro a rest a little bit.
More Modric and Cruz, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be midfield three of Valverde, Camavinga, and potentially.
You know they've been playing Isco the last couple of games.
That's good, man. It's good to see Isco play.
Isco is looking a bit.
Someone said that he was meant to be a world beater.
No,
and
I'm telling you,
lived up to the hype.
Isco is one of the most talented players I've seen. Like
he was meant to be that guy,
bro. In terms of his his ball control, his ball retention, his ability to operate in tight spaces.
That guy glides on the ball, man. He was cold.
Yeah.
But I don't know what was it, injuries.
Nah, he had a period under Zidane where he looked good. No, he looked good because you remember when they beat Juventus 4-1 in the final. That he looked like he was going to go on and become like a superstar in it, but I don't know. After that, he kind of fell off, and then he started to gain weight. Like I saw him last season, and the guy was looking a bit on the
fat side.
You said it. Oh yeah, speaking of fat side, what going for Hazard, man?
I believe Hazard will have a big season.
Really?
I can see it by the way he plays, because players like Hazard, kind of like Grealish, they get a lot.
Let's lie. This season's
it's funny, I was chatting about fat guys and Hazard. I'm eating burgers and wings and all that.
So let's be honest.
This is what Hazard's been doing. Don't do this. This is why I fell off.
This half season, up until January, if he's not doing well,
I feel like he should have left. But where is he going? That's the question.
No, he can't leave yet. He has to do something. Because at least Griezmann actually had a decent end to the last season. Yeah. Hazard hasn't had a period.
Made an impact at least.
Hazard hasn't had a period of at all.
Sustained game time.
Obviously, it's not his fault.
Where does Hazard play predominantly for Real Madrid?
Left wing.
On the left. Yeah. Who's their main target?
Mbappe.
Kylian.
He's got until essentially he has this season. He has this season to do his thing. Even if he does his thing, Mbappe still come and taking his place. And can we talk about that Mbappe transfer? Because I feel like PSG, you're on crack. You're on crack cocaine. 200 million, and you rejected that.
Yeah. I mean,
when he's gonna go in free.
Nah,
they're not. No, he told them he's not gonna extend his contract.
I think it's just a thing of, you know what, fuck it, let's just do the
Eminem one last big hurrah for the Champions League.
But that's nuts. That's silly. Like even the amount of money you get by winning Champions League is not gonna cover that 200 million.
Are you sure?
No, man.
You sure? No, in terms of like the commercial side and everything, careful. We don't know, man. It might make up. So.
But then he's probably thinking as well, like, I can go to Real Madrid now, where they're not in the best of states, or spend one season with Messi and Neymar and see what happens. Like, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? I was like, just wait 1 year.
And you know what? You know they have the most complete squad right now. The most complete team. They got Nuno Mendes. He's a big talent. Like they're saying like he's the next like great left back in it. So their complete team, there isn't a weakness in it.
I would say now it's more than last year. It was
and they have depth now.
Yeah, their left back position was the weakness. Their
fullbacks
were the
it was like,
but now they have quality fullbacks.
Like they have to win the Champions League. The fact that you have Lionel Messi, I'm sorry, and then you have Neymar, and then you have Mbappe, you have Verratti, Ramos,
like
Marquinhos.
In terms of numbers, already people are saying this is the best front three of all time. Like obviously we don't know that yet.
MSN was better.
I'm sorry, but that was before Neymar came.
Because I'm sorry, that Messi is better than this Messi.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, this Neymar is better than that Neymar, but Suarez is better than Mbappe.
Oh god, here we go.
Is that?
No, he's a better overall footballer. He's a better overall footballer now.
You think so?
100%. So, PSG have big pressure on them. PSG have big pressure.
They can play an all Argentina attack. Icardi, Di Maria, Messi. It's just
Icardi, bro.
Icardi, man.
Icardi fell off.
No, it's just like with how football is nowadays. You need more. Unless you're Ronaldo.
I'm surprised Inter didn't go back for him on loan or something. Like,
no, they don't need a player like that. He's just a poacher,
They bought Dzeko, so I was like, you might as well just go back in for Icardi.
But Dzeko's complete though.
Dzeko's also 35.
I mean, he's still more complete than Icardi. Icardi's just
literally a poacher. He's the most one-dimensional striker I think I've seen in the top.
I mean, Immobile is quite one-dimensional.
Yeah, but at least Immobile runs in behind. He does run in behind a bit more. I remember, I was like, Icardi, how are you? In my eyes, 2 seasons ago, I was like, you're so lucky to be scoring the amount of goals you're scoring. Thank you.
I'd say COVID safe, guys. I'm just safe in general. Hygiene.
And then didn't he get frozen out by Inter because he wanted to leave, and then he went to PSG.
Something like that. I don't know what for that guy. So I don't know.
And you don't like Messi.
Can we look at the Messi transfer?
He doesn't like Messi.
Who don't like Messi?
Icardi doesn't get along with Messi.
Why?
They had beef when they were in Argentina, GT.
But we're gonna have to suck it up.
Yeah.
But
What are you gonna
Messi
say?
transfer, let's get into it a bit more.
Let's talk about Lionel Messi. I've got a mic on now. We're getting serious. Serious business. Champions League or bust? What are we saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Champions League or bust.
Essentially, yeah, definitely. He's got to win it.
He has to win it because with that squad that you have, let's look at that squad. In fact, let's look at that window first. Because of when we do the rankings, we're just looking at Prem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go more into depth with Paris Saint-Germain. Donnarumma on the free.
You can argue he's already world class, isn't it?
Gini Wijnaldum on the free.
Average ball, but yeah, good signing.
Messi on the free. Ramos on the free. Hakimi,
60 mil.
Nunmensch. You have to win the Champions League. I think they asked Jose Mourinho something like, something about a complete squad or something like that. I can't remember. They asked him something, and he said, "Ask Mauricio Pochettino," and he couldn't be more right. Pochettino probably had. I think PSG's window is probably the best window we have ever seen. Would you say so? I think it's better than that Galactico season.
Real Madrid window as well,
The Galactico window, but the thing is, with the Real Madrid window, we have hindsight. So Kaká didn't really turn out too well, did he?
They bought Kaká, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Talk about it, man. Talk about it.
But no, when you look at it, yeah. So, Wijnaldum or Xabi Alonso? What are you saying? Yeah. Who else is there? Who else is there to compare?
Donnarumma. But they didn't get a Donnarumma.
Nah.
So that's so we can say.
So who's the main two? Because obviously Kaká, Ronaldo, and Benzema. Obviously
and they got
Benzema.
CR7 as well.
That's it.
I think it's still the Real Madrid one.
You think it's still the Real Madrid one?
But Messi is the best signing out of all of them, though.
Ronaldo back then was better than Messi was now.
I'm not sure about that one.
He was.
I'm not sure about that still.
He was.
I don't think so.
You don't think
I
so?
still think Messi was.
Wait, you think Messi how much old is Messi? 34?
34.
I think Messi at 34 was better than Ronaldo in his mid-20s.
See,
That's not
Ronaldo.
He wasn't in his mid-20s though.
He was in his early 20s even.
Early 20s. So he was still developing.
No, it was mid-20s. Ronaldo was in his mid...
I don't rate Ronaldo like
Bro, allow that. Okay. So, you said Alonso over Wijnaldum, obviously. But PSG got Donnarumma, so that's 1-1.
They got Hakimi.
Hakimi, it's another one.
In terms of level of talent,
No, what? Yeah, Messi was so much better last year than what Ronaldo was back then. He was. Okay, that season when Man United, what was it? That was
Okay, yeah, to be honest, if you're saying 08, if you're saying 07, 08 Ronaldo, he kind of, I wouldn't even call it a dip, but he wasn't as good in his last season at United than the season before. But yeah, you man didn't watch Ronaldo, innit? So you don't know about CR7 like that.
last season.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's player here and whatever, cool. But I feel I'll still take that I think the CR7 transfer, because you have to look at it like this. They got CR7 and then he was, how long was he at Madrid for?
8 years or something.
Exactly. How long is Messi going to be at PSG for?
2 years, maybe.
So the Ronaldo signing, of course, has to be a better signing.
Who's a bigger name? Messi now is a bigger name than Ronaldo.
Yeah, but no, in terms of just in terms of transfers and logic, you're signing a 24-year-old Ronaldo is a better signing than a 34-year-old Messi. It just makes, of course, it is. Just makes sense. So I'll put the Ronaldo transfer as probably the biggest transfer out of the both of them. But I think the fact that they got the keeper and they got 2 fullbacks, not one, they got 2 fullbacks, and they got Sergio Ramos as well.
I think what's going to play a part is what they win in it. That's really going to elevate it. So we're just guessing on paper.
Yeah, we're talking about, but on paper, if we just looked at it at the time when the Galacticos were signed and at the time where PSG players were signed, I think maybe you could have an argument to say that the Madrid window was better because we're just looking at it on paper. But in like a year or so, we're going to have hindsight because the Kaká signing wasn't it didn't turn out how they thought it was gonna turn out. Let's be honest. So maybe in a year's time we could come back to this and say that window was the greatest. That window was the greatest. But yeah, it's interesting to see. Yeah, it's interesting to see. But they have to win Champions League.
100%. They need to win the league first. And they struggled last year. So
Yeah.
But Leo's been stripped.
yeah, Leon's been stripped. Leon
Leon's not serious. They're not a serious club. Obviously, Rennes. Watch out for Rennes. They've bought bare young players, so they're gonna be a good team to watch, definitely. And obviously Monaco's there.
Monaco's consistency, man.
And Nice is another one. And Marseille are doing well. So, but PSG will.
One player I like from Monaco is Tuchemini. I can't lie, I'll be so honest.
Yeah.
Didn't know about him until we got linked with him, but I watched him the other day. He looks like a good player.
I haven't watched him, but people rate him highly, man. They say he's like a complete midfielder.
Fabregas said that he basically said he's the next big thing. So, what the says Fabregas post him. Do you think PSG is going to win the Champions League though? That's my question.
Who do you think's your favourite?
Okay, you go with who you think is going to win. I know we're straying a bit, but this is kind of related to transfers because we're looking at PSG's window. But yeah,
So early to say.
The favourites for the Champions League is PSG, innit? Because on paper, innit? So,
okay, so you think they'll win it?
I'm gonna say this right now here on record. I don't think PSG are gonna win Champions League.
it wouldn't be. That's the thing.
I don't think.
Surprise me if they don't win it. I just don't.
I don't think they're gonna win it. I'll be honest. Do you think they're gonna win it?
I'm gonna say no. I don't know.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised as well.
Yeah.
I want them to win it, but
Another team. Let's look at Inter Milan. Obviously, big loss with Romelu Lukaku.
their finances.
Finances in the mud. They lost Conte as well. Hakimi they lost.
They'll be alright.
Yeah, and they should still mount a couple.
Replaced Lukaku with Dzeko.
And they
Which is
replaced
a good
Hakimi with Dumfries.
Yeah, he had a good Euros, didn't he?
And they bought Pereira from Lazio as well.
Yeah.
So, they'll be
Their
alright.
midfield is unbelievable. Like, yeah,
I want to see Inter do well. I do want to see them do well.
refreshing to
I do
see.
like them. I do like them as a team.
do we think Juve will function better as a team?
Yeah.
And Dybala apparently now is going to be the focal point in that team.
Right, so.
So, but like signing Locatelli, they didn't need Locatelli, but it's just to stop other teams from getting him.
They won't. I don't think they'll do anything in the Champions League. I think their midfield is still not strong enough.
But you'd imagine that it's going to be a two-horse race next year. Like last year, Juve just got into the Champions League spaces, didn't they?
Hey, watch out for AC. AC are cooking slowly.
Yeah, a young team. He was carrying.
It's not even Ibra is still not even playing.
Yeah.
So.
You know what's so funny?
What?
The team that we normally spend the most time talking about in podcasts we haven't mentioned yet.
Well, Arsenal. We'll save that for.
I feel like those two.
Arsenal,
I feel like
Grealish.
Dan is gonna have Dan and Ori. Mainly Dan, I think will have a very passionate rant about Edu and Arteta.
I mean, Eddie made his comments today, didn't he?
Yeah, I think we'll have a lot to say about that. Ori will probably
Bayern Munich?
have some reasonable take on why they haven't invested that much because he seems to be the voice of reason with the Gunners fan base, I guess.
The shining light.
Yeah, he has faith in Arteta and Edu. Well, I'm not gonna speak for him. He might not now, but yeah.
Alright, should we talk about Bayern Munich?
Just this, you know. Let me talk about Bayern Munich.
Disrespect the league, man.
Yeah, don't disrespect the league,
It's a
but
good league, man. It's a good league.
Okay, let me go. I'm gonna just. I'm sorry. I just have to. You know, in the Premier League, you have feeder clubs. The Bundesliga is a feeder league. It's a feeder league. It's a feeder league. You have a feeder club with, say for example, Southampton is Liverpool's feeder club. Arsenal's a lot of teams. I'm joking. I'm not gonna write. But you have teams that are feeder clubs. That whole league is a feeder league to Bayern Munich, and it's not good.
But that's what people.
But it's just weird, isn't it? The biggest competition have just lost 3 of their biggest assets. Like them and Dortmund as their biggest competition. Like Nagelsmann, potentially the best young coach in the world, gone to Bayern Munich. Sabitzer, I think that is astounding that Sabitzer.
Don't forget about Upamecano as well.
Upamecano too. We knew Upamecano was going to happen. That's just ridiculous. Like, and it's not even like one of them. Like no other team, people just feel like, oh, Bayern Munich, they're just going to go in and get these players straight away. Like no one else has a say, essentially. Like,
It doesn't matter that Leipzig were top for the first half of last season. It doesn't matter that Dortmund, for all these years, were trying to compete and they lost all their best players. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the balance in the league is just a bit worrying, to be honest. Yeah, that's why I didn't personally agree with it when people were talking about it.
There's plus sides to it as well. Like,
yeah, but I just don't. If that's how it works out, I don't want that in England.
But it wouldn't work out because because when it kind of started, you would say Bayern have always been the main guy.
Yeah.
And then one thing that happens in Germany is that there's sometimes
poor
management.
The issues with the German League and the Bundesliga 1 is a lot of the big giants have actually fallen so far down. Schalke, Werder Bremen, like
they'll spend peas.
And that's when, as soon as that 50+1 rule came in, all those big sides. Look at Schalke, done, gone. Like Werder Bremen, gone. Is it Cologne? Cologne, gone. These are some of the biggest sides in Germany's history. Gone. Who's remained and who's actually come up? Bayern Munich.
But that's because Bayern was smart with their money.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah.
They're not big spenders.
And they didn't even spend that much on Sabitzer. How much did they spend on him?
13 million.
30 or 13?
Million?
Yeah, 16, but he had a year left on his contract.
That's good business. That's good business. That's very good business.
Maybe Tottenham, but Arsenal.
Another signing. Andre Silva to Leipzig. West Ham should have gone for him. If he's gone to Leipzig. Oh man, what a season he had last year. Should have signed him. Man United were linking him as well.
Yeah, I didn't want him. I didn't want him. But yeah,
that's one season. But
are there any other teams that we have left out? I don't think there are. So we'll obviously go into more depth. We're gonna rate teams' transfer windows in will probably be a Zoom episode that all of us will be participating in. But this was just a quick one for you guys. Well, I say quick one. It's been a bit of time, but yeah, I'll just leave the outro to Josh.
You man know the usuals, man. Come on, man. We've been here for like 6 months now. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with your people. Because we want to keep growing, man. We want to keep doing things like these for you guys. So you man know what to do. Make sure you hit the bell notification. But yeah, we out, people.